Hey Dom, this is Dave Desai. Today I want to get into RM getting some homophobic hate over a fake news article, a video that appeared like RM by the river, and I also wanted to talk about ENHYPEN and what happened with Jake. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Rabbit dumpling, a tea spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. ENHYPEN is definitely a group that I really like, and I have watched their entire journey and cried with them on Island. I've reacted to the entire season on my Patreon, so if you want to check that out and that journey, make sure to go over to my Patreon. I have a playlist on there, and I will link my Patreon below. But if you're watching the series, you really learn to fall in love with the boys, and that's the positive side of showing your life on TV. The negative thing about this is that everyone thinks that they're entitled to their opinion about you, and they're entitled to be able to tell you what to do, as if they own you because they feel like they were the ones supporting you. But support can largely be financial, but that's not what support is completely. Support is loving someone at a distance and accepting them for what they do as long as it's not illegal. Jake from the group has been the member that has garnered the most controversy since his debut in the group. And it's really upsetting because all of the members are so sweet and kind. They literally just work and nothing else. I think Jake is an easy target because he seems so sweet and easy to pick on. This is speaking more generally. So what happened recently to Jake? Well, allegedly there was a netizen or paparazzi video where Jake was spotted in Itaewon. This is one of the most famous places in Korea. Several dramas and stuff take place there. I say allegedly because the photo appears like someone who is Jake, but we never see the person's face fully, and it's just believed to be Jake, either by the person recording it, who would have obviously had a better view of the person, or it was just believed just because someone online saw the video and it just appeared like Jake. This person in the photo was smoking, and this apparently wasn't as big of a deal. No one seemed to care at all that they believed Jake was smoking. But if the backlash was about Jake smoking, I can understand it a bit more. Yes, he is an adult. People smoke. But if the backlash was more people just telling Jake to not smoke and it's bad for his health, or maybe a bad example for his younger audience, then that is something that is more understandable backlash. But no, people were very much like smoking is not a problem. So that's good that everyone is accepting, but everyone was upset that Jake was allegedly talking to a girl on the street. His video makes it appear like this person, who may or may not be Jake, walked up to a pretty girl in a black dress and gestured for a lighter. People claimed that Jake was in Itaewon specifically to pick up girls, and the comments were saying that smoking wasn't an issue, but picking up girls was. When you have your priorities literally set backwards. What? I would rather see my friend, or if I had a son, pick up girls than pick up smoking. People were assuming that he was picking up girls because the girl he was talking to was pretty, and also him being an idol, why would he go around asking for a lighter? Why not? People were saying that since he's an idol that's rich, instead of going to random women, go buy one for $2 or whatever. You could buy one. Literally anyone can afford it. But then why do people ask? It's so normal to ask people for a lighter. Why literally buy one or carry one to lose it when someone else would just have one? I'm in New York, and if I walk around the city 9 times out of 10, there will be someone that will stop me for a lighter. There's even this practice in the film industry, if you want to take note. If you're ever an extra or just working on a movie set, even if you don't smoke, just carry a lighter with you, because you could have a director or producer ask you if you have a light, and they will just stand there and smoke and talk to you. So it's a great way to network, and pretty much everyone on a movie set, crew-wise, smokes. I don't know what it is about working on set that makes you want to smoke. Jake responded on Weverse to a comment asking if he was in Itaewon to pick up girls, and they referred to it as hunting. And Jake commented and just boldly responded to say no, and that he wishes people would believe him when he says no. Some people took the response as you do and believed him. I believe him. Others were saying that the label should respond and say no because they don't believe Jake. And that's stupid. So Jake is just going to say no, and then the label would come out and say yes. That would just ruin Jake's reputation, and in return, the label's wallet. Whatever Jake says, the label would stand behind. All these comments people say use like a quarter of their own brain. Like none of it makes sense. And if you thought about it for like 3 seconds, you'd realize how silly the comment is. I do not care if Jake was hunting for girls. However, he denies it, so it didn't happen. Full stop. That's it. There seems to be a lot of random hate lately, and to be honest, I am not sure where it's coming from. People are not quarantined like they used to be, so the hate that everyone is receiving isn't from people who are bored at home, but it seems to be people who are just mad. And not just within K-pop, obviously. RM was receiving homophobic hate. Homophobic hate doesn't happen as much in the K-pop community, at least not in the same way it does outside the community. If you stan K-pop but don't like BTS, you still wouldn't call the members gay or feminine feminine as an insult, because the group you do like also has a softer look. However, a lot of non-K-pop fans will look at BTS or K-pop and call the members girls or gay and attack them for that. This was a big issue within the last few hours. There was an article that was made. The article talked about the most handsome man of the year or whatever. They put RM next to Henry Cavill, and he is an actor if you don't know, and obviously he is very handsome. Of course, this was a very believable article. RM is very handsome, Henry is too, and the article mentions how RM got #1 and Henry came in second as the most handsome man. This story spread like wildfire within both Henry and RM's community, and so the attacks came from outside of K-pop fans. People were calling RM homophobic things and whatever K-pop men get called. Henry fans were very obviously upset that RM won and felt like Henry should be #1. And as usual, Asian men are called ugly anyway, so they don't think he deserves to win, blah blah blah, we've heard it before. Someone actually ended up messaging the official account who makes these handsome men of the year articles and asked if the one floating around was true, as it never seemed to have been published by them or any of the official sources. The account made a public Instagram post to deny the article and said that the article floating around is completely fake and they have not officially made any handsome men of the year posts yet. People were then trying to get HYBE to take down the news article publishing the fake story, as RM was getting homophobic hate over the fake articles. HYBE can't take that down, I don't think, as the article isn't defamation, the article isn't anything. It's just not true. But it doesn't make RM look bad as it calls him handsome. The reaction online makes RM look bad or hurts him, but you cannot control how things are perceived and how fans react, so I don't know if there's much for HYBE to do here. But I do hope he is considered for the real handsomest man title. It just makes me worried that he might get more hate, because at this point he does. There was a fun clip floating around. It wasn't anything bad, but it was a clip that got RM talking. There was a video recorded of this couple and it appeared like it was maybe some K-drama actors, but the male actor or person appeared very similar to RM. So people were using this video as a way to say and fantasize that this was RM, and this is how he'd treat a girl that he was into and dating. And in this video you'd see that this person repeatedly kiss and show affection to the woman, and it was just very cute. Of course, this makes for a great fantasy, as a lot of ARMYs imagine how RM would treat them if they were in a relationship with RM. I mean, he was the fake handsomest man of the year. Who wouldn't want to date that? Others were saying that RM would do this to a man, like kiss a man, because he is actually gay, but we don't know if that's actually true. Out of all of the members that could potentially be gay, and I mean there's 7 of them, maybe one of them is gay, who knows, but RM has been very open about the idea of a girlfriend and that sort of thing. If you were to have a romantic moment, it would be with a girl. Now, I love this romantic clip. Went so viral, and mostly viral because from afar this guy looks like RM. Like, as long as you look somewhat like BTS, like, you'll go super viral. I hope that RM would be able to do something like this and a family. So if he does do this, then I hope he doesn't get any hate for it, because I think it's super cute. But what do you think? How do you feel about the article? How do you feel about the Riverside kiss video? And how do you feel about ENHYPEN's Jake wanting the hate to stop? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.